Hi, everybody. I would like to walk you through a couple different stylings of cryptic crossword clues today. And we'll look at many different types, and hopefully by the time we're done, you'll have a pretty good sense of how these things can go, how you might solve them, and how you might create clues of your own. So let's look at number one, local putting green round T. And what we have here is a synonym for the word local, and that would be native. And then the rest of it is some sort of word play. So putting green round T can also be putting green round T. And if you put green around T, you could put the word naive, which is a synonym for green, around a formal abbreviation of T, which is the letter T. So you could see here we have naive around T. And that's our first example. You could see the T is contained within another word, naive. Here's another, sharpens head of tool being blunt. And this would be something called a charade clue, or charade, where you're piecing together multiple pieces side by side. So the word here is blunt, and you'll see it's at the end this time. The definition is almost always going to be at the beginning or the end of the clue. And sharpens, another word for sharpens, could be hones, H-O-N-E-S. And head of tool is some word play, indicating the head of the word tool. So that would be a T. So if you combine hones and T together, you get a word for blunt. Ricochet, blast, resounded, containing energy. And here on the bottom, you could see there are a couple different techniques being used to create a word, boomerang. So ricochet is the definition, and then the rest of it is going to be wordplay. So the synonym for blast is boom. Another way to say resounded is rang. And these two words, boom and rang, are containing the abbreviation for energy. And altogether, this word means ricochet. Melanie and Theodore became sentimental. 6 letters. Nicknames for Melanie and Theodore in this case are just patched side by side to create our answer, and became sentimental. Another way to say that is melted, and perhaps each of them melted in this case. So that's just a little clever little word play with some nicknames. On Wednesday, headless Italian grain points where I click. This is my daughter's favorite clue. So here we see a down clue in a crossword puzzle. And when you have an up and down clue, you can do certain things like put something on top of something else. So on Wednesday, Wednesday abbreviated to W. Headless Italian grain is the rest of the wordplay. And farro, F-A-R-R-O, is an Italian grain. But if it's headless, we could take the first letter of the word farro off, and then we get arrow on top of W, equaling a word that also means points where I click. And you could see my mouse on the screen, the arrow doing just that. Capital of Germany. So sometimes we get the entire thing as the definition, but it's given to us in a cryptic-y sort of punny sort of way. And another way to say capital is to say currency, and the currency of Germany is the euro. So many people would guess like Bonn or another German city here, but this is total misdirection through the word capital. Did he have spelling lessons? So here we see another example of a cryptic definition with misdirection, hinged on the word spelling. Can you explain it to yourself? Harry Potter is somebody who might have taken lessons in spelling or spell casting. So here, these don't show up too often, but the entire thing is sort of the definition, and a cryptic definition. Dizzy astronomer looks up at night. This is a very common type of clue called an anagram. And what we have here is looks up at night is the definition here. So something a moon starer might do. And dizzy is an anagram indicator. So anything that is signaling to us sort of movement or chaos or spinning or rearranging is oftentimes indicating an anagram. And if you take the word astronomer and you shook up all the letters and rolled them out in a different order, In this case, you would get moonstarer. Baloney made from portion of thumb, ugh. Here's another type of clue called a hidden word clue. And in this case, baloney is the definition. Another way to say baloney is humbug. And it is just about a week away from Christmas, so it's seasonal, this clue. Made from portion of thumb. So humbug is also made from portion of thumb. So it comes from a portion of a piece of thumb ugh. So within thumb ugh, we get actually a word that's hidden in there, and you could see humbug hidden inside thumb ugh. Book price brought about argument. So this one has a reversal in it and an abbreviation. And you could see book can be formally abbreviated to B. I forget off the top of my head which organization would use that abbreviation. I'll have to look that up. Maybe I'll add it to the notes. And then price is the next part of the word play. And if price is brought about, we're looking for a synonym for price that is literally brought about or turned around. And here we see the word fee. So B for book combined with fee backwards gives us a word for argument, beef. Old revolutionary talked at length. And here we see another reversal clue. And can you see it? Talked at length is another way of saying went on. And then old, revolutionary. If you take the word old and you make it revolutionary or reversed, then you get not new. So not new is another way of saying old. And this is how we get to went on or talked at length. Grade composition. So here's a new type of clue called a double definition. And in this case, both words or both parts are synonyms or definitions for the word in question. So if you grade something, you are scoring it. And another word for composition in a film is the score. That's a double definition. Climbing in slow-mo, deer feels liberation. So here's another one where we get climbing, which can be used in a down clue. And there are certain things going on here. Within slow-mo, deer feels, we get a backwards hidden word. So starting with the F in feels, R-E-E-D-O-M is freedom, which is another word for liberation. And this, by the way, is a clue that is on the borderline of sort of legal or acceptable, because feels is maybe not the best link word. A link word is something that connects the word play to the actual definition. So I don't want to get into it too deeply right now, but this one might be a bit iffy as far as its legality, so to speak. Penny pincher told to enjoy. So this is going to be a homophone clue, and we have penny pincher told to enjoy. So to enjoy is the definition, and another way of saying to enjoy is savor something. And a penny pincher is told. So whenever you have something that is like audio based, told, or on the radio or on the phone or broadcast out loud, these might be words that are indicating that some sort of homophone action is happening here. And a penny pincher is a saver, somebody who saves his pennies, spelled differently, but sounding exactly the same as our answer, saver. So this is how a homophone clue could work. Penny pincher could be rephrased as saver, and saver is something that sounds exactly like our answer, which matches the definition to enjoy. High schooler finally brought home the information. So here we have one of my favorite types of clues. First we have the definition, and in this case it's going to be high schooler, which matches teen. And then finally is a word indicating that we want to look toward the end of something. So finally is telling us to look at the last letters of brought, which is T, and then E, N. So another way to get to teen is through the wordplay, finally brought home the information. Fatuous, trendy leads, and awful Netflix entertainment. So besides being a funny clue, if you know what the words mean, it's also quite clever. So fatuous is another way of saying inane, or sort of like meaningless or silly or not worth anything at all, or a sort of waste of time. And then we have the rest is trendy, leads, and awful Netflix entertainment. So another way to say trendy, first of all, is in. Like if something is it or it's in, it's trendy. And then the leads in awful Netflix entertainment. What are the leads in these three words? The lead letters, A, N, and E. Combined together, we get inane, another word for fatuous. Follow publicity in the middle of program, 6 letters. And this is going to be another example of a container clue where one thing is inserted or surrounded by or contained by another thing. And here we see program. Another word for program is show, S-H-O-W. And we have publicity or an ad, advertisement, in the middle of program. And altogether that creates the word follow. I mean, a word that means follow, and that is shadow. Mostly think album needs cracking digital cover, 9 letters. There's a lot going on here, so let's take a look. So mostly think could be most of the word think. So mostly think is, we're going to take the T-H-I-N and the word album. So mostly think album. This needs cracking. So these letters, these 9 letters, T-H-I-N-A-L-B-U-M, needs cracking, which means it needs some rearranging. And when we rearrange or anagram those letters, we get another 9-letter word, thumbnail, which also equals our definition, digital cover. So a thumbnail for like a YouTube video, for example, is like a digital cover for that video's content. That was a tricky one. I didn't get that one when I first encountered it. No end of rancor in bad-tempered taxi driver. So the word rancor ends with the letter R. That means there's going to be no R in something. That means bad-tempered. And another way to say bad-tempered is crabby. But if you take the R out, because there's no end in rancor, which means delete an R, then you would get crabby turned into cabby, which is another way of saying taxi driver, our definition here. So part of solving these is figuring out which part is going to be the definition and which part has some sort of wordplay happening. Love is painful when it's over. So the definition is going to be usually, almost always, at the beginning or the end. And in this case, the definition is at the beginning. It's love. So we're looking for 4 letters that means the same. And this one's a little bit tricky because the wordplay is happening with a synonym for painful flipped upside down, or when it's over. So if you take the word sore and you turn it over, you get eros, which is the mythological equivalent to love. And then one more, this is a different type called a Spoonerism. And Reverend Spooner is somebody who became famous for sort of committing accidentally, or perhaps sometimes on purpose, this type of verbal faux pas. So his cheerful enthusiast can also be his merry fan. And if you are cheerful, you're merry. If you're an enthusiast, you're a fan. But what Reverend Spooner would often do, accidentally or perhaps on purpose sometimes, is take the 2 opening sounds and switch them. So here we get merry fan turning into ferryman, and a ferryman is someone who will get you across. And I think that's enough for now, but this gives you a nice wide range of different types of clues. It gives you a sense of how these cryptic clues are generally constructed, often with the definition on either the beginning or the end of the clue, and then the remaining words forming some sort of wordplay be it a Spoonerism or Anagram or a hidden word, reversal, some kind of container, deletion or insertion of specific letters or specific parts. There's a whole bunch more, but this was just meant to be a good start. So I hope this helps you with your own solving. And for those of you who are trying to construct original clues of your own, I think it's a lot of fun. I hope this helped with that as well. And good day to you.